If you have been with me since the beginning, you know my son Liam has been through hell. The secret wedding, the financial scam, the canceled honeymoon, the career sabotage, and the stolen diamond, it all happened with his ex-wife, Clara. The last video ended with Liam finally getting divorced. The family trust was saved, the diamond was back in my possession, and Liam was starting to rebuild his life and his career. We had peace. Real, beautiful, quiet peace. For about a year, things were great. Liam got a new promotion. He started dating again. He met a wonderful, kind woman named Sophie. Sophie was the complete opposite of Clara. She was funny, grounded, and genuinely loved Liam for who he was, not what he had. They were getting serious. They were planning a vacation together. I finally felt like my son was getting his happy ending. I was even starting to dust off the old wedding binder again, for the right reasons this time. But you know how it goes. Just when everything seems perfect, the ghost of the past comes back to haunt you. Clara, who we thought was gone for good, wasn't done with Liam. She was watching. She was waiting. And when she saw him happy with Sophie, she launched her final, most desperate, and most cruel attack. This time, she didn't just target his money or his career. She targeted his future, his heart, and his new relationship. I'm going to tell you exactly the specific way Clara created the fake pregnancy and what medical proof she used to deceive us, the unbelievable demand she made to break up Liam and Sophie, and the lawyer she hired to back her up, the final, ridiculous trap she set that led to her complete downfall and final, total removal from our lives. This trap was so predictable, yet so shocking. It's the kind of thing you can only see coming after you've lived through it. Stick with me, because this ending is the wildest part of the entire story. It was a Tuesday afternoon, exactly 1 year and 3 days after the day Clara told me they got married yesterday. The irony is not lost on me. Liam called me, his voice tight. "Mom, you need to sit down. Clara just called me. She says she's pregnant." I dropped my phone. I actually had to pick it up off the floor. "Pregnant? Liam, you two have been divorced for 6 months. How is that even possible?" "She says she's 3 months along. She says it's mine from before the divorce was finalized," he whispered. My mind was racing. The timing was awful. She was claiming the baby was conceived right before or right as the divorce was happening, when they were still living in the guest house. Even worse, Liam was about to leave for that big vacation with Sophie, the vacation that was going to lead to an engagement. I told Liam, "Do not react. Do not admit anything. We are getting the lawyer on the phone right now." Clara wasn't stupid. She knew simply saying, "I'm pregnant," wouldn't work this time. She came prepared with proof. She sent Liam an email with 2 attachments, a photo of a positive pregnancy test and a lab result report from a clinic confirming an elevated level of the HCG hormone, which indicates pregnancy. This was not a quick text message or phone call. This was a structured, planned attack. But my husband David noticed something immediately. The lab report was from a small out-of-state clinic. We called the clinic, pretending to be a background check service. It took some time, but we found out the truth. The clinic was real, but the doctor listed on the report had been retired for 5 years. Furthermore, we later learned that Clara had an acquaintance who worked at the clinic's front desk. Clara had managed to get an old blank lab report template and forged the signature. But how did she get a positive test and the right blood work without actually being pregnant? This is the disturbing part. We had a private investigator look into her. The investigator discovered that Clara had been purchasing HCG hormone injections from a shady online source meant for certain weight loss therapies. Injecting these hormones simulates pregnancy in the body, causes a positive test, and produces a real-looking lab report. It was a massive medical risk just to run this final trap. She was so desperate, she was literally playing with her own health. 2 days after the bomb dropped, Clara's lawyer called Liam's lawyer. This was not a friendly conversation. This was a formal negotiation. Clara's lawyer was aggressive. He stated that if Liam did not acknowledge paternity and set up a fund for the baby, she would file a major child support lawsuit that would tie up the trust fund for years and expose all of Liam's assets. But the demand wasn't just financial, it was personal. Her lawyer's settlement offer had an outrageous, non-negotiable condition. Liam had to immediately break off all contact with Sophie and agree to reevaluate his relationship with Clara for the sake of the unborn child and a stable family unit. The money was a threat, but the real price for Clara was always Liam's happiness. She wanted to destroy his new relationship and drag him back into her orbit using the one thing she knew he couldn't ignore: the idea of his own child. The fake pregnancy wasn't about a baby. It was about getting rid of Sophie and punishing Liam for moving on. Liam was distraught. He was stuck. He couldn't just ignore a possible child, but he knew deep down this was just another layer of deception. He had to be cautious, but quick. Liam had to buy time. He told his lawyer to schedule a formal in-person meeting with Clara and her lawyer to discuss the paternity and family stability. This was the final trap. Not Clara's trap for Liam, but our trap for Clara. I told Liam, "You need to bring Sophie with you." "Mom, are you serious? Clara's lawyer said I need to break up with her." "Exactly. This whole thing is about getting rid of Sophie. If she shows up, it forces Clara's hand. She'll panic, and people panic when they lie." The meeting took place in a neutral conference room at Liam's lawyer's office. Liam and Sophie walked in together, hand in hand. Clara was already there, wearing maternity-style clothes and looking smug. When Clara saw Sophie, her composure completely shattered. Her face went white. Her lawyer looked annoyed. Liam started the conversation. "Clara, I'm here because of my potential child, but I want to be clear. Sophie is my future." Clara couldn't contain her anger. She yelled, "You brought her here? You're ruining your child's life. She is never going to be around my baby." Her lawyer tried to silence her, but it was too late. Clara had lost control. My husband David, who was sitting next to Liam, spoke up next. He wasn't their lawyer. He was just a father. "Clara," David said calmly, "we need to talk about the baby's name. Liam's grandmother's name is Eleanor. We'd like the baby to be named Eleanor." Clara, still shaking with rage over Sophie, snapped, "No, I'm not naming my baby Eleanor. I hate that name. I'm naming her something simple, like Madison or Ava." Then David looked at her, his voice heavy. "Clara, that's interesting. You're so determined to have Liam involved for the sake of the family unit, yet you refuse to honor his family with the name. Also, your lawyer mentioned the child support demands. We need to know if it's a boy or a girl to start the college fund appropriately." Clara hesitated, then declared, "It's a girl. It's definitely a girl." Then Liam spoke, his voice firm and final. "Clara, you claim to be 3 months pregnant, but 3 months in, the doctors can't confirm the gender with that much certainty. Secondly, and most importantly, you know that Liam is completely sterile." The room went silent. Clara's jaw dropped. She looked from Liam to me, completely horrified. Her lawyer threw his pen across the table. This was the secret. Years before he even met Clara, Liam had a serious illness that required treatment, which as a side effect left him permanently unable to father children. It was a private, painful fact that only his parents and his doctor knew. He had never told Clara. He had waited until this exact moment, in a formal setting, surrounded by lawyers, to reveal this truth. He knew the fake pregnancy was her last, most vicious move, and he countered it with the truth she couldn't argue with. Clara had no answer. She had never asked about Liam's past medical history. She just assumed that since he was a man, he could get her pregnant.
Clara's lawyer immediately asked for a recess. He came back 10 minutes later, looking defeated, and simply stated, "My client retracts all claims and demands. She will sign a permanent non-disclosure agreement and agrees to pay all of Mr. Davies' legal fees." Clara never got her fantasy honeymoon. She never got the family money. She was forced to pay the legal bills. And most importantly, she lost the last shred of power she thought she had over Liam. Clara signed the papers, disappeared entirely, and never contacted us again. The final trap failed spectacularly. Liam's life moved forward. He did take that vacation with Sophie, and yes, a few months later, he proposed to her. They got married this year. It was a beautiful, small, honest ceremony. No drama, no secret bank accounts, no stolen diamonds, just two people in love. And I, for the record, was in charge of the save the dates. I didn't even look at the old wedding binder. The diamond, it's sitting safely in our vault. Liam says he will give it to Sophie when they have their first child, a child they will adopt together, because this time they are building a family on truth and love, not secrets and lies. And that is the true happy ending. This journey from "we got married yesterday" to Liam finding true happiness has been unbelievable. But I want to talk about the deeper impact these kinds of manipulative people have on a family. If you or someone you know is dealing with someone like Clara, you need to understand the signs of a financial abuser. Thank you for being here for the whole wild story. It's been a long, hard road, but we made it. The truth always wins in the end.